I'm so excited to speak to our guest today. She's a nurse practitioner all the way in the New Jersey area. Please help me to introduce aesthetic injector, Roshni.
Hi, my name's Roshni. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you for having me, Jonathan.
No, thank you for being here. I'm so excited. I have so many questions to ask you. So let's jump right in it.
Hi, my name is Jonathan McLean, and I'm the founder and CEO of McLean Aesthetics.
Welcome to the dark side.
Let's go.
So tell me, how did you get started in the aesthetic industry?
So I was actually working on a surgical orthopedic floor in the hospital before I got into aesthetics. I was also working in pediatric home health. I love to learn new things, and I truly love the nursing profession because there's so many options out there. My first job in aesthetics was part-time as a registered nurse in the Upper East Side of New York at a small med spa. I currently work as a full-time nurse practitioner at Evolve Medspa in Montclair, New Jersey. I actually got lucky getting into aesthetics. I had a friend who I went to nursing school with. Her name's Renata. Hi, Renata, if you're watching. So she was actually working at the med spa in New York, and they were looking for more people to work there. So she posted something on Instagram, and I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. Like, it sounds like something different. I would love to learn aesthetics. I was always intrigued by it. And I was like very into skincare. I had like acne growing up. So it was like a good passion of mine too, to really get to know skincare. So I was like, oh, like it would be a good opportunity. So I reached out to her, and like I said, they were looking for another provider to work in that med spa. So she had been working under a doctor for 4 to 5 years in aesthetics. So she kind of guided me. She was like, hey, do your certification in botox and fillers, which I did. And then I shadowed her in the office. And then eventually I kind of saw my own patients there under her guidance. And then I kind of just started part time on my own. So I was seeing all these patients for Botox and fillers. And that's how I pretty much got started. And it was really kind of tough in the beginning too, just because I feel like I didn't have that support. The training was there, but I feel like there wasn't really anybody to kind of bounce ideas off of. So that's pretty much how I got started. I kind of taught myself too. I watched a lot of videos. I watched a lot of other providers, how they work, their techniques, what products they use. So that's how I got started in New York. Hmm.
Yeah. And to my understanding, you were an RN when you started. In most states, you can't be an RN starting. You have to be a NP or PA, but New York is one of those states where you can. How did you feel confident and how did your confidence grow once you became an NP?
I think really knowing the basics, knowing your anatomy, facial anatomy is so important. Feeling comfortable, knowing where you're injecting, makes a huge difference. So really getting to know the basics of facial anatomy, where the arteries and veins are, where the fat pads are, knowing all of that kind of helps build your confidence, because now you know like, oh, I should avoid injecting here, and
Mm.
also just kind of educating yourself, watching videos, researching, making sure like all of the products are or the techniques are evidence based and it's safe. I think that also really helped build my confidence. So it was a lot of like self teaching, researching, watching other providers as well.
Awesome, awesome. Now, I wanted to go back to something that you had said earlier. You said in the beginning of your career, you didn't have the guidance or support to really feel, really take it to that level. How big is training in continuous education in this field?
I think it's definitely gotten better. I don't think there was a big emphasis on like proper education or training before. And I think it's definitely gotten a lot better. There's a lot more training programs out there. There's more people involved, more people are educating others, new providers on how to inject, just because it is growing. It's becoming a really big industry. So it's definitely gotten better. I think it could still use some improvement. I know there's a lot of courses out there that are like literally one day you get certified, you're good to go do Botox fillers, which definitely isn't the case. You do need a lot more training. You really need to know your anatomy. You need to know all the products, you know, how you need to know like safe techniques. So I think there could definitely be improvements, but it's gotten better for sure.
Super cool, super cool. Do you do your own injectables?
Like by myself, like outside of
Yeah,
my work.
yeah.
Not yet, but I'm looking into it. I've had people ask me about like Botox parties and things like that. So I'm definitely like curious to like do it on the side. Maybe one day open up my own med spa, hopefully, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely, definitely. No, I meant like, do you like inject yourself?
Oh, I've gotten Botox, I've gotten lip filler, I've gotten cheek filler, but I'm too scared to inject myself. I just can't, the angles, I can't. And I'm such a baby. I need somebody else to inject me.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I always like to ask providers because someone's like, "Yeah, I do it, no problem." Someone's like, "I could never," like what you're saying. So it's always interesting to ask and see. Let's talk about some pros of the industry. There's so many people coming out of the hospital in different specialties, and they're wondering, it looks glamorous, it looks fun to be in this industry, but I wanted to hear from someone like you. What are the pros and maybe some cons of joining this industry?
There's definitely pros and cons. I think the pros is that it's a great job. It's not your
Mhm.
typical like primary care job where you're seeing patients who don't really want to be there. The patients usually in primary care or like medical offices, they're there because they have like serious health conditions and they need to get better. And sometimes they really don't want to be there. So it's not that typical job. But at the same time, it does involve medicine, right? Botox fillers is at the end of the day, they're still medical products. So it does incorporate art and science. So that's a really great pro. The patients are great. They're there. They want to be there. They want to look good. They want to feel good. And it's really great because you get to provide that for them. You get to make them feel confident. So that's a really big pro for me as well. And there's lots of growth in the industry as well. So there's a lot of opportunities. The industry is always growing. There's new things coming out. There's new things to learn. So that's some of the pros. Some of the cons, I would say, I think the biggest things are like misconceptions about the field. Botox and fillers make you look fake, which isn't the case. It's usually when it's not injected properly that it makes you look fake. There's providers out there that aren't getting the proper training that they need. And that's also a big con to the industry. The training, I think, like I said before, it could use some improvement for sure. Um, we do need more places that will train properly. So that's a big con as well. And then there's also the cons of like, I have people who will come in for like fillers and they'll just be like lifting their face. And I'm like, that's not what you're going to get from filler. It's going to enhance, but it's not going to kind of give you that facelift that they're looking for. So that's another big misconception. So a lot of misconceptions in terms of when it comes to Botox and fillers, and the training or the education part too is one of the big cons.
Yeah, no, I can definitely understand that. Now, I like what you said when you said it's a mixture between art and science.
Mhm.
Did you have any artistic background?
I actually don't feel like I do. I'm a lefty, so they say lefties are more creative. But honestly, not really. I feel like I I didn't really I wasn't really involved in anything artistic like that, I would say. Not really.
Yeah, it's so interesting because it's definitely because like you said, like our aesthetics is definitely not just one plus one. It's using your
Right.
mind and your creativity. So I always like to see like what did you do in your background? Were you like a artist or a dancer or something
I,
creative to do?
all of my friends and families tell me I have really nice handwriting. So that's something I'm
Okay.
proud of. I do have nice handwriting. I can write really neat if I want to.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So I wanted to talk about social media. Social media has changed the game in aesthetic industry, and most providers don't talk to me like, I didn't have to go to school for this. Like, what? Like, I don't know how to do this. Like, I never thought I would have to do this being a provider. How has it impacted your career and kind of what you do on a daily day basis now?
Social media, oh my gosh. Definitely building up your portfolio makes a huge change for you. I always tell people, keep posting, post before and afters, post your reels, post educational content, build up that portfolio. And, you can connect with people in the industry, in the aesthetic field, follow people in the industry. There's so many things that you can learn from other people, and so many different ways of injecting that you can learn from other people as well. And sometimes it's really nice to have that portfolio that you build up for yourself, because when you have patients, you can really show them like, hey, like, this is what I did. This is like the outcome. This is kind of what you can expect. And it makes them feel more confident too, that, oh, you know what you're talking about. You have experience. You have these before and afters. There's something that they can look at, and it's your work. So I always tell providers, like, try to build up your social media profile as much as you can. Try to connect with other people on there too.
Do you feel patients want to know more about you in prior to making, like, more about you as a person, and kind of your branding and prior to make a decision to come see you?
For sure. I feel like whenever patients call, especially new providers, they don't really know who they are. They don't know how long they've been working, what their background is. So they definitely ask, like, is this person a professional? And, our front desk, or the receptionist will be like, yes, it's a nurse practitioner or a PA or a doctor injecting you. They have X amount of experience. They've worked here before. So it definitely makes a huge difference. On a personal note, I feel like the patients sometimes, depends on the person, but they definitely want to know what your background is. If you come from aesthetics, if you're medically trained to inject, makes a huge difference.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. Now, can we talk about the New Jersey area briefly?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
I want to talk about what patients are looking for in New Jersey. Like, I'm here in South Florida, and it's all about the sculptra, the BBL, non-surgical BBLs, and actual BBLs, and things like that. What are people looking for in the New Jersey area?
Um, I feel like I do a lot of Botox. Everybody loves the Botox. Lips. I feel like lips is a huge thing. Cheek filler, chin filler, jawline filler. A lot of people are liking the BBLs. We hyper dilute radius, and we also use sculptra for BBLs. So that's a really popular procedure. Microneedling, Morpheus, laser hair removal are some of the really big ones.
Wow, amazing. So it's kind of similar. Some of the same things are trending, I guess, nationwide.
Mhm.
Even with the cold weather, people are still coming out in droves to the aesthetic clinics.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially
Okay.
like during COVID, when they were like looking at themselves over Zoom and they're starting to notice all these things. I feel like it just grew from there, which I think would be the opposite, right? Like, oh, everything is locked down, nobody's going out, but it actually grew. Evolve, especially, they opened during like peak COVID, and they keep growing. They're opening more locations. So
Amazing, amazing. That's always good. It's always good to hear how the industry grows because it's so new right now. And I see it growing so much more than what it is right now in the next 5, 10, 15 years. So
yeah,
it's definitely interesting to see all the new things come out.
absolutely. I agree.
Awesome, awesome. Now I wanted to go back to training. Is there any conferences or trainings that you can suggest to the audience?
Oh my God, yeah, there's so many. I think to start, especially new providers, I would say definitely try to go to like cadaver labs. They really show you
Mm,
the anatomy, and you can see it on a real person. I mean, they're not alive, but they're dissecting, and you can really see like all of the arteries, the veins, the fat pads. So that's definitely really helpful to see, because then you know like kind of what to avoid when you're injecting. And then conferences by like those big companies, Allergan, they have a lot of different conferences out there. So definitely trying to attend those conferences and educate yourself on the products.
who are some key leaders in the industry that you can suggest for the audience to follow?
I follow a lot of people. Jubilant Julie, or Julie Kaplan, is really great. Dr. Arthur Swift, Dr. Tim Pierce, Julie Hornlips. I also followed Injector Bunny. I think her name is Erica. Um, a lot of different really great providers, and they really show how they inject, and they're just really real too.
For new people that are looking to try this industry out, as far as like trying products out and things, what are 3 simple skincare tips that you can give them?
For like newbies who are
Yeah.
complete skincare, I would say definitely sunscreen every single day in the morning. Even if it's like cloudy, rainy, snowing, just put on your sunscreen because that makes a huge difference. And it builds that barrier between the sun so you don't get that skin damage. Retinol to incorporate too. It's a really great anti-aging. Love the botox for sure. It's a really great anti-aging, preventing wrinkles, starting off early to kind of prevent those wrinkles from getting deeper. And honestly, I feel like monthly facials should be a thing. I feel like if people are getting their hair done or their nails done, they should take care of their face too. Their skin is a huge deal too. So why not get a monthly facial?
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. Now, working a lot can be stressful. How do you kind of get that work-life balance? How do you kind of balance?
Um, I think that's another really great thing about aesthetics. It is a really great job to kind of get that work-life balance. Evolve, especially. So we work Tuesday through Saturday, and Saturday I only work from 9 to 2. So I really get like half of my Saturday, and then I get Sunday and Monday off. So I do still have a couple of days in my weekend. I almost get like almost like a 3-day weekend. So I really get to kind of see family and friends, do like errands on my days off. So, and the hours aren't super long. Sometimes we're there until late, like 8, but it's only like 2 of the days. So it's really not that bad. Um, the work-life balance, I would say, is pretty good in the aesthetic field. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you find like you do other things outside of work to kind of like a lot of people do fitness or yoga or anything? Do you find like you do something to kind of help with I guess like getting through the week and things of that nature?
Yeah, I really try to like go to the gym if I can. Meal prep too, like cooking keeps me busy a little bit. So those are some of the things that kind of get me through the week.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me, speaking more about the aesthetic industry, especially in the New Jersey area. I'm sure the audience learned a lot. Tell everybody where they can find you, what you got going on next.
So I am currently working as a full-time nurse practitioner. Come visit me at Evolve Medspa. It's located in Montclair, New Jersey. It's a really great area. And I'm hoping to still be there for a while. So I'll be there and maybe even continue my education, get a certification in like mental health. I'm thinking about it, maybe even go back into primary care part-time or something, but you could definitely visit me at Montclair.
Awesome, awesome. And until next time, bye.
Thank you, Jonathan. Take care.